Hey yo, it's your boy Los. Let's get it.
La, la. They tell me write my dreams through my pencil when I'm pushing out rhymes, but I'm busy writing these verses of Jesus Christ. Cause since birth I've been cursed with this chip on my shoulder. The feeling I was missing was filled in with that boulder. The cornerstone that came and saved this rolling stone. Cause I was out rolling stone with no intentions of going home till 2 in the morning. But little did I know that very same night I would lose my homie. And I ain't going back to that lifestyle. The careless intuitions of getting lifted and buck wild. No, not now. Cause ever since he revealed what's within, I've been dead to the sin. Save me with this blood and through the spirit I'm sealed to the end. So do you feel it? Do you like it? If you feel it in your heart, we'll ignite it. Yeah, hey, hey, oh, oh.
Alright, so we're talking today about Messa Montana's latest album called Be Kind Rewind. This was suggested to me by one of the cats on reformbars.com, facebook.com/reformbars. Yeah, and I've always said, continue to say, man, I love when you guys hit me up and ask me to review an album for you, whether it be your own album or someone else's album. You just want to hear my 2 cents on the situation. I love that. It means a lot to me, man. So please keep them coming. Basically, man, this album, man, I have a lot of good to say about this album, man, for real. And that's very rare, to be very honest with you. Very much impressed with this album here for a number of reasons. Really 3 important reasons to me why I'm impressed with this album. The first reason is because, one, I'm a huge fan of transparency. This album was an extremely transparent album. Now, I'm not a fan of transparency for the sake of transparency, so you like someone feel guilty for you, right? Or feel like, oh, I feel bad, so let me help him out. No. I like when dudes say, yo, this is where my life is at. Life is not going well for me, but I'm trusting the Lord for things to get better, right? This album here, he was very vocal about losing his job right before he got married. His wife still loving him and being with him, even though, or I'm sorry, his fiance still loving with him, still being with him, still marrying him, even though he didn't have a job and things weren't going well. I love the fact he was just very honest and very vocal about, yo, this is where my life is at, man. It's not gravy, but I'm trusting God for things to get better. I just love it, man. I love transparency. 2, it had this old school, old school, but just a dope feel to it. If you ever seen the movie Brown Sugar with Sanaa Lathan, Taye Diggs, Mos Def, Queen Latifah, who else is in this movie? Boris Kojo, whatever that boy name is, I don't know. I'm a little jealous because he's the pretty boy. He's not cute, but anyways though, his wife is in it as well. A slew of stars. Fab is in it for a minute. Beanie Sigel. Anyway, it's not important. So it's called Brown Sugar, and it's basically just, it asks the question, when did you fall in love with hip hop, right? And it's obviously a hip hop orientated movie. There's if you ever see the movie, man, there's a scene that was taken out, man. I wish he would have kept it, but Method Man's in it, and he's at this office and pretty much trying to see why he didn't make the cover of the Source Awards or the Source magazine, and he just basically they pulled guns. It was a cool little scene. I wish they would have kept it in. Not sure why they took it out though, but it was a dope scene. But anyways, dope movie, man. Had a beautiful feel to it. East Coast, laid back, neo soul meets hip hop kind of feel to it. And this album here to me could have been the soundtrack for that movie, or just a soundtrack for that movement as a whole. This album had a very beautiful. He could have had some neo soul singers in the background. I don't know where his budget was. I know he didn't have much money, and so that's probably why he didn't do it. But it was to me, it was something bad about the movie. It was missing that neo soul background singing feel to it, right? It was missing that. That was necessary for this album to be even better, more successful than what it was, in my personal opinion. Anyway, so that album there that movie there was very chill, very laid back, and this album here is very chill, very laid back. When I first heard the first song on this album, which was sorry, I don't remember the name of it, but the second song. So there's an intro, of course, then there's the first song. The actual first song borrows Tribe Called Quest's. Sorry about that, but it's Tribe Called Quest's Electric Relaxation. So sorry, but anyways, so the song I Feel It samples that production pattern beautifully. I don't think I've ever heard anyone even try to accomplish that, and they did a good job. Whoever's producer did a great job bringing that to pass, man. Just a beautiful, beautiful sample, beautiful song, man. But I love, like I said, that this album to me is the soundtrack for that movie, or just for that movement as a whole, man. That neo meets hip hop feel to it, just beautiful, beautiful. So that's number 2. My third reason for liking this album is because I fell in love with the person and not just the artist, if that makes any sense. So a lot of times, cats get on the mic and they'll do a song, album, whatever, they'll do pretty well, right? And they won't necessarily be true to themselves, right? They won't be real, not just real transparent, but just real, like, just be honest. When he took every song he did, I felt like he was giving a piece of himself away to us for free or for $9.99. I felt like he was saying, "This is me. Take me as I am. I'm still a work in progress." And I love that, man. I loved his desires for us to know him more with the hope of knowing God more, right? Like, basically saying, I'm going to be an example to you guys of when things don't go well, things don't go right, how God can still use you and get the glory. How God can still use you, he can get the glory when it's all said and done. I just love that, man. I listened to the album, and I don't get me wrong, I think he's a gifted artist, dope MC, or good MC. Yeah, he's a good MC. He's a great MC. I'm not gonna say dope, he's a great MC. And I'm gonna get to read why I say that in 1 second. But I felt like him as a person, like, I would like to sit down with this dude and just chop it about life, because I felt like he's the kind of cat I want to talk to. Not just an MC that I want to say, yo, I like your music. No. Like, let me get to know you, because the way he came across on this album was like he was a real person. And I love that about this album. I love that he was just real. Just real quick, touch on what I just said when I said that he's not a dope MC. I think he's a great MC, but he could be a better MC if he didn't have his job. Just be straight with you. And that sounds weird, right? Here's what I mean. I was telling my wife the same thing. We listened to it on driving up and down the roads. So as he's talking about, right before he getting married, so on his album, there's a few songs where he makes reference to the fact that he's at work, busting his tail, trying to write these rhymes and fulfill really other people's dreams while, because they own the companies and everything, which I thought was very, very beautiful and very wise at that. But he's talking about, the stresses of working and stresses of marriage, trying to work and do this ministry and this and that, right? And I just automatically felt as if he wasn't working a 9 to 5, I bet he would have given us an even doper album, right? Because he's trying to balance so much while at the same time be an MC, right? And I know that's hard to do. So he didn't give us his all. He gave us good. Don't get me wrong, he gave us good quality music. So check this out. When you get this album, you're gonna hear a dope album. In my personal opinion, you're gonna hear a dope album. But when you hear it, imagine how much doper it would have been if this dude would have had, Lord be with him, if this dude would have had literally all day and all night to focus solely on this album. I mean, sure, still keep his wife and family and whatever, but I'm talking about no stress from job, just solely album. It would have been a doper album than what it already is, right? I'm just really impressed. I was really impressed with this album. I didn't know what was going in. He only had, I think this like his first album. He had like a single before this or something like that. And yes, I had no idea who this cat was, what he was getting into, whatever. But I was really impressed. I was shockingly impressed because, well, here's the thing, right? With him, and maybe he did his own beats, I don't know, but with him having limited resources financially, that's the impression I got. He had great production. Like really good production, and it was really good mixed and mastered. Like I was really shocked. Like, and that just goes to show, man. And I'm going off the belief that he had, little to no money and no record did nothing like that. So, but it just goes to show, man, that you can do all of this pretty much on a budget. You know what I'm saying? And still put out good work, good music. You know what I'm saying? Dope content. Now, you know what I'm saying? I'm really impressed by that, man. And I salute him for that, for real, because I hear so much from dudes like, oh, I need this, need that, you know, to put out this. And my man is putting it out, once again, going off the content that, off the belief that he did this, you know, with Limited. But my man did it with Limited, and it's a dope project, you know what I'm saying? Now, just to be straight with you, this is, although he's a believer, gives the impression he loves the Lord and seeks out for holiness. This is not a deep theological album. This is not one of those, this is not a lamp mode type joint, you know what I'm saying, a Christ-centric type joint. It's just not. And that's not a bad thing. I don't think every Christian artist needs to do a 3-part, you know, sermon. I've said it before, continue to say it again, 3-part sermon. No, I don't think that needs to be done. And he definitely didn't give you that on this here. But he still put out a good, God-honoring project. And I'm very much pleased, man. I'm really, really pleased with this album. But you know, it's funny, man. I feel like I'm contradicting myself, but I'm really not trying to. Although I'm very, very pleased with this album. At the same time, I feel like he shortchanges on this album only because he couldn't focus all his attention and all his time on putting this album together. You know what I'm saying? I felt like he put a lot of time into it, a lot of effort into it. Yeah, but I felt like he could have put way more effort, more time into it if he would have had more time. And so I guess my suggestion would be on the next album, right? Not take a break from nothing, but maybe on the weekends only, you know, write and give us your all. You know what I'm saying? Because I just really felt like he shortchanged us. But it's funny I say that, but at the same time I say it's a dope album. So just imagine if he really took the time to give us all his all, it would be a problem, real talk. But man, yeah, this was a dope album. I definitely encourage you to go cop it. Support the brother, man. Support godly men who will put it down for the kingdom, man. I love the fact, it really blessed my heart, man. I could really hear in the album that his heart was hurt by the fact that he wasn't in a position to provide for his household like he wanted to. There's a song, he talked about how his wife would go to work as a teacher and then go right to her part-time job while he's looking for a job. You know what I'm saying? And I could hear as he's rapping that hurt him. It hurt him to say that. You know what I'm saying? I love that as a man. I loved hearing that. I loved hearing that this man wanted more for his household than he was able to provide, and it broke his heart that his wife was doing more work than he was. I love that, and I praise God. I think he got a good job now. I pray he did. If not, I pray he gets one. But man, yeah, that blessed my heart, man. I love that. Anyways, like I said, Messa Montana, Be Kind Rewind, only volume 1, so I'm hoping and believing there's a volume 2 on its way. If so, man, I'm looking forward to it. Dope album, dope concept. Like I said, beautiful neo soul meets hip hop type feel. Yeah, you won't miss out. It won't be a waste of money. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, go cop the album. All right, y'all. Grace.